I am planning to start rendering the wall of the roof terrace. Why? Because the weather is great. I got the materials, I bought them this morning. I bought sand, I bought lime, the colored lime that I've used before. And today I'm going to prep. I'm going to do some sanding. I'm doing a few small minor repairs and start tidying up so that tomorrow is the whole day of rendering. It's supposed to be great weather, so really looking forward to that. That's gonna make a difference in the look and feel and gives me an extra boost of motivation to carry on with other less interesting jobs as well. So let's get started. So I don't really trust the seam between what we call roofing ladder or the bitumen that we laid here on the roof and the edge with the wall. Although the bitumen is standing a little bit up, I'm not really sure about the bonding. So I have caulked it over with a black caulking, and on top of that, after that has set, I have smeared some of this stuff. I got it from Holland. It is basically a watertight paste for repairs of leakages and bad spots in bitumen roofing material. It's sort of a tar, and I've just smeared it on with a brush, made sure I had a straight line here, did it with tape, masking tape, because I'm gonna scrape the door frame tomorrow, last thing, and then tape everything off, and then I'm going to render this wall, and I'll render over the bitumen as well, so you won't really see it. And then afterwards, next week, hopefully, we're gonna install the wooden floor decking, so you're not gonna see any of this, but just as a precaution, under the layers that are going to look good, I have some extra waterproofing. I thought better be safe than sorry. So I have sanded down this lintel. It's the old existing lintel. I haven't changed anything. Just sanded it down, given it one coat of that stuff that I always use. It's gonna get dirty, just like the big lintel up here. But probably the lime will just wipe off after this treatment. After the liming rendering, I'll give it another coat, maybe 2 coats even, who knows. But actually it looks a whole lot better already. So I have put expanding foam, PU foam, in between the door frame and the wall. I'm gonna cut this off, trim it off once it's all set and cured tomorrow, and then probably run over it with a waterproof, weatherproof caulking. And eventually this seam will be covered behind the rendering, so you're not going to see it, but this is just insulation basically, and also to provide you with a backing to put your caulking on. I'm not going to fill the whole void space between the frame and the wall with caulking. That's just overkill. It's just not necessary and really expensive. No need for that. This is fine, this is great. It's going to be caulking on both sides, covered with rendering. So today is a big day because I'm going to render this wall. I'm going to render the inside perimeter wall around the roof terrace, and it's a big day for me because this is going to change the look of this particular part of the house. After that rendering we're done, we can start installing the wooden floor here, and that things are just coming together and things are just really looking a whole lot better, and that is just motivating. It's just really nice. The weather is fantastic. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's about 20 degrees, so that's warm enough for a t-shirt, but you're not going to sweat. If it could be this all year round, I would be really happy. Alright, I've got to start trimming off the expanding foam that I squirted in. I've got to scrape some of the paint off the doors here behind me, the opening doors. Just a little bit of the paint, just where the render is going to sit. The rest of the paint will scrape off later when we repaint the whole thing. I need to take those doors out and refurbish them anyway. So taping up some of that smaller window over there and the lintel, and then a good sweep of the floor, and then we're going to cover the floor, because this time I'm not so much going to smear the render on. I'm going to do the French way of throwing it on the wall and then smearing it out. Why? Because some parts of this wall are made out of concrete and are quite smooth, and the render will not just stick too well to it. If I smear it on, it will probably come falling off. If you throw it on, it will sort of stick. So let's just get started. Yeah, that's good enough, because the rest of the paint will take off, sand off or scrape off later when I'm going to repaint and refurbish these doors. So I've taped off all the parts that should not receive any lime rendering. This is waxed kind of paper. I'm going to wet the wall now. The paper will just stay in shape. Gonna moisture the wall and then start mixing up some lime render, and then probably moisture the wall once more before I start throwing it up. let's get started. So I've got my first layer on. It's quite thick in places, so yeah, like you see here behind me, it's dropped out because it's just the render is just too thick there, too heavy. So I just put in a little bit that's just sticking to the substrate, and then letting this cure, and then we put another layer on top of it. Also here, in some places it's sufficient. We can let this cure and then brush it. I do that with a wire brush, and then we get the pattern we want. But I'll have to reapply in places. Also the inside of the parameter wall, and on top I have rendered with the lime render in the color that we want. And then when we go back down, I have touched up on some places of ground level of the bathroom building where we really needed to have two coatings. One coating was not sufficient. So you can see here behind me, that's all new render I've just put on. And here, and we're gonna let this cure and then brush it with the wire brush, and then we get a nice finish on it. So well, the weather is good. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it sit until tomorrow, and then probably brush it, or maybe put another layer on. I don't know, it depends really on how it cures. In this weather, it's all a bit in the shade. I have no clue. We just have to see. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, but you know, the colors, it's all tying in. It's becoming this really a section. It's getting it together. So yeah, it's already looking better than what it was. So let's see tomorrow morning. So the render has now been curing for approximately 18 hours or so. It's been really windy last night, so I guess that really helps drying out the mortar. We're going to, or the rendering I must say, we're going to brush it up. We're going to either make it look tidy, or we're going to brush it up and provide key for a next layer. So yeah, let's get started. But that will be the next episode. Now I only need to thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the people below who are helping our channel by buying us a coffee once in a while. Very much appreciated. I am going to see you next episode. Bye now.